How are you, grade 6? Today, inshallah, we'll start a new lesson. Our lesson is called Absorption and Transmission of Water and Mineral Salts in Plants. Absorption and Transmission of Water and Mineral Salts in Plants. We learned before in grade 4 that green plants make their own food. By what? By photosynthesis process. So, plants take carbon dioxide from the air, absorb water and mineral salts from soil, and absorb light energy from the sun. So, the plants make photosynthesis process to make their own food, and of course, they produce oxygen to us. Also, the plants need very little amounts of other elements such as phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, nitrogen, and zinc. All these elements are essential for plants' life. The absorption of water and mineral salt from soil will happen through what? Through the root hairs in the root. So the water and minerals will pass through the root hairs in the root to the other parts of plants. How? So this is again the photosynthesis process. The plants will absorb light energy from the sun, take carbon dioxide from the air, absorb water and mineral salts from the soil to make photosynthesis process, to produce oxygen and to make its own food. Now, this part of plant is called roots of plant. This part of plant is called roots of plant. And these are the root hairs. These are root hairs. What is the structure of plant root? The plant root consists of what? This is the plant root. The plant root consists of many layers. Number 1, epidermis, and it is external thin layer. The first layer is called epidermis and it is external thin layer. After that, the second layer is called cortex. The second one is called cortex, and the cortex is a thick layer. After that, this layer is called endodermis. It's called what? Endodermis. Then this layer is called xylem. And the last one is called pith. So again, the root consists of many layers: epidermis, cortex, endodermis, xylem, and pith. What is the function of the roots? The roots have a very, very important function. Number 1, fixing the plant in the soil. The roots fix the plant in the soil. Number 2, absorbing water and mineral salts from the soil. Number 2, absorbing water and mineral salts from the soil. Now, transmission of water and dissolved salts, solutes, from the root to the rest of the plant. How water and salts will pass from the root of plant to the rest of the plant. I need you first to look at this picture. This is the root hair. This is what? The root hair. And this is the soil. And this is what? The soil. If you look inside the root hair, a big vacuum. Inside the vacuum, you will find salts. The salts concentration inside the vacuole is larger than the salt concentration in the soil. So the water will pass from low concentration of salt to the higher concentration of salt. So the water will pass from the soil to the root hair. The water will pass from the low concentration of salt to the high concentration of salt. So it will pass from the soil to the root hair. So the salt concentration in vacuole is larger than the concentration of soil solution, which helps to transfer water from the soil into the root hair. Through what? Through its semi-permeable membrane. So the membrane of the root hair is semi-permeable. What does it mean by semi-permeable? Permeable means it allows water and gases to pass through. Allows water and gases to pass through. So what is the name of the process that allows the passage of water from the soil to the root hair through semi-permeable membrane? It is called osmosis. It's called what? Osmosis. So what's the meaning of osmosis? It is the transmission of water. It is the transmission of water from an area with low concentration of salt, and of course high concentration of water, to another area with high concentration of salt and low concentration of water. Again, what is the meaning of osmosis? It is the transmission of water from an area, which is the soil, with low concentration of salt and high concentration of water, to another area with high concentration of salt and low concentration of water. So this is again the root hair, this is the rest of plants, and this is the soil. So the water and dissolved mineral salts will pass from the soil to the root hair, and it will move to the epidermis. It will move to the epidermis of the root, and it will, in the epidermis, it will regulate water crossing into xylem. So the water will pass from the epidermis to the xylem, and the xylem rises them to stem and other parts of plant. The xylem will pass the water to stem and other parts of plant. Okay. In the last part, we learned how water pass from the soil to the root hair to the other parts of plant. What about mineral salts? What about mineral salts? Mineral salts are transported. Mineral salts are transported from soil into root hair. From soil into root hair through the semi-permeable membrane, according to what plants need of these salts. So if the plant needs these salts, so the salts will pass through the semi-permeable membrane of the root hair. So the plants can identify the elements and allow it to pass through the cell membrane or not. So the plants have the ability to allow these salts to pass through the cell membrane or not, according to what? Selective permeability. This is known as selective permeability. What is the meaning of selective permeability? It is a process by which a cell membrane of the root hair, the membrane of the root hair, allows some types of salts to pass according to the plant's need. So if the plants need salts, so the salts will pass through the cell membrane of the root hair. If the plant doesn't need salts, so these salts will not pass through the cell membrane of the root hair. Now we finish our first part in our lesson. Thanks a lot, grade 6, for watching, and goodbye.